Hello, my name is Jessica McPherson, and this is for my EDU 330 Week 3 assignment. The first question was, what does it mean to be a culturally competent educator? To me, being a culturally competent educator, you must be aware of all the different cultural diversities and how they may affect a student's education, their personalities, their home life, and their overall achievement and motivation in school. Is important to know that some students may have a harder time due to their diversity other than others, and as educators, it's important to make sure that we are aware of this and making sure that we are there to comfort them as much as possible, and we're always there if they need someone to talk to. The second question is, where do you see yourself on the cultural competency continuum chart and why? And I decided that I would consider myself at a 5. I am aware and agree that we need to be more inclusive as a whole group of human beings, especially as educators. We need to make sure that we're not separating people or categorizing them, and everyone should be treated the same. That goes especially for education. No one should be treated differently or receive different opportunities for education based on any type of cultural diversity. Everyone should be able to receive the same and best education possible. I work towards being more inclusive, but I know that there's definitely ways that I can improve and do better, and I'm working towards that. The next question is, what will it take for you to get to the next step or to deepen your cultural competence, including understanding your own personal bias and teaching in a diverse classroom? I believe that I need to look at my own personal bias first. I don't intentionally be biased, but obviously it's part of human nature. It's kind of, we grow up with it, we're familiar with it, but we don't necessarily know when we're doing it. The next step after that, I would try to do better by making better choices, being more inclusive, and really being more aware of my decisions and how it maybe affect other people, and understand the things that I may think are easy are definitely a privilege to me, and that there's things that other people have to go through that I might not have to go to, which is different for everybody. By doing this, I'll be able to understand how my students' lives may be different, and I will try to make sure that everyone is treated the same way and making sure that all students feel comfortable and safe in my classroom, and that everyone is receiving the best education possible. Following on to question 4, what are some specific research and reading tools, resources, or trainings that you might use? Some helpful tools and trainings that I could use as an educator would be looking at different cultural backgrounds and familiarizing myself with the ways that people may be brought up and how this may affect their school. And it can really affect students' education, their personalities, and definitely the biggest one, with all of the tools and the trainings, the biggest tool that I could use myself is just having an open heart and open mind, and making sure that I'm there for my students no matter their age, race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, gender, or anything. None of it matters, and my job as an educator to make sure is they're happy, they're safe, they're comfortable, and that they are learning. Next question is, what will it look like to have cultural inclusivity in your classroom? In my classroom, having cultural inclusivity will be shown as students participating and being put in groups randomly. It's not going to matter if it's a boy or if it's a girl, if they're black, if they're white, does not matter. It'll all be random, and students will just have to work with each other. There's no bias, and making sure that there's no discrimination. All students will receive the same education and support that I would give any other student. If a student needs help or if they need someone to talk to, I will be there, and that will go for all of my students if they need that. And lastly, it'll just be a happy environment. Anyone who comes into the room will feel safe, comfortable, and they'll know that they are accepted no matter their background or their culture. Our last question is, how will you ensure you are respecting students and as individuals with differing personal backgrounds? Like I said before, I will make sure that I'm respecting my students by ensuring that I'm always being professional, not being biased in the classroom at all. And as a teacher, I'll make it my goal for my students to be comfortable with who they are and be excited to learn in my classroom. With keeping an open mind and an open heart, I'll make sure that my students' education is the main goal, and I should be able to look at, and everyone should be able to look at as everyone as they are equal and they are the same, and making sure that they are all receiving the best thing possible that I can give them as their education and being safe. Thank you.